Hello, everyone. This is Raise Your Voice as part of the Fans First Sports Network. I am your host, Brett Rutherford, joined as always by my good friend and co host, Darby Robinson. Darby, what's going on?
Oh, just getting ready for opening day. I just got back from Seattle, and in fact, our theme song, produced by the artist Groovebox, I actually saw him. He's a good friend of mine in Seattle, opening up for Scoochie Boochie. So I was at a little rap show last night, and yeah, had some good times. I'm working on not a lot of sleep because we were hanging out afterwards, having some fun in Seattle, and then but ready to go and talk opening day.
Shout out Groovebox for our great theme music there. And today we're also joined by a very special guest. He is a contributor for draisebay.com and co-host of the new Trop Talk podcast. Welcome back to the show. It's been quite a while, but welcome back, Elijah Flewellen. First, Elijah, how are you? But secondly, you got to tell us a little bit more about what you got going on over with Trop Talk.
Yes, I'm doing well. What are we 36 hours away from first pitch Thursday? So
Yeah.
it's fun, man. Like I just left the last spring training game in Northport. I went there today. That was fun. But yeah, man, me and Hunter, we went to some games at Steinbrenner last year, and we hit it off so well. We were like, we should do a podcast. And sure enough, that things materialized over the off season. He just got engaged. So we're like, okay, well, let's put this on the back burner until like February. And then sure enough, got all the equipment and off we go. So it's been fun. It's been fun. We had Tampa Bay on. Had some
that's awesome. I'm the Rays internet sphere seems to be growing, and that can only be a good thing. And lots of excitement, obviously, with the new ownership. I know you've been around with some of the fan forums and other events. FanFest, you were out there, I believe, on local news at FanFest. So there's a lot of excitement. This is an exciting time, I think, to be a Rays fan. I feel this way before almost every opening day, no matter how I feel about the team that season. And I've got some mixed thoughts about this year's team. I'm sure you guys have some mixed thoughts as well, but there is an overall like looming sense of positivity before opening day. Once the games start, I cannot promise that I will maintain that positivity. But today,
the first Junior Caminero ground into double play, and you're like, it's over. It's over. He's a bust. He was a Trop.
You're not going to suffer twice.
Steinbrenner Field merchant. But then the next inning, the home run, he's like, it's over. It's AL East is ours. Yankees who, living inning to inning in a game that is built around 162 games where everybody loses at best like 60 games is just a crazy way to live. But we, hey, how you're alive.
Right. Well, we are live on youtube.com/@raiseyourvoice and also available wherever you get your podcasts. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, make sure to throw in a comment, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on those notifications so that you can join us whenever we go live. And on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leaving a rating or review is a really good way to spread what we do to more and more Rays fans. And we've got a lot to get into today. And there's injury news. We got Taylor Walls, Gavin Lux, right now Ryan Pepio going on the injured list to start the season. Nick Martinez, some injury news. So we've got a lot to cover. I want to cover those injury news, how they affect the opening day roster, some storylines to look at through the 2026 season. And then we're going to end the show with a couple of trivia segments. I think we've done trivia at some point or quizzes at some point down the line on the show, but it's not very common. I'm thinking maybe we make it a more common occurrence, although it did take me quite a bit of time to write these questions. It's going to be 2 rounds of trivia. It's going to be one Darby versus Elijah, and then one that we do the 3 of us as a team that I will say is probably going to be better for our YouTube watchers. So we're going to make it as podcast friendly as possible, but also encouraging you to head on over to youtube.com/@raiseyourvoice and follow along on there as well. Let's get into the news. Ryan Pepio headed to the injured list with hip inflammation. Joe Boyle is going to take his spot in the rotation. He's also going to start the second game of the season Saturday in St. Louis. They're also pushing Nick Martinez back to a very minor hamstring injury. I didn't know if it was Nick Martinez's feelings being hurt after just a horrendous final spring training outing. They're just going to give him a few more days to get ready. And I hope that will be the remedy to some of the issues he was facing in spring training. But first, guys, let's talk about the injury to Ryan Pepiot. Elijah, what are your thoughts? What was your initial reaction when this news came down?
Man, I mean, I thought we made it through camp relatively healthy, and then on my way to Northport, Siri told me that Pepiot got hurt. I'm like, oh no, but here we go. You know, I feel like there's always, I don't want to say something goes awry because knock on wood, everybody's elbows are okay right now, but if he's only going to miss like 1 or 2 starts, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Darby.
Yeah, I mean that when I got the ping that like, you know, he was injured, that's like you always think with any kind of pitcher, it's like, you know, shoulder, arm, elbow, something like that, you know. So anything lower body, which obviously hips are really important to a pitcher, you know, you're generating a ton of your power there. But anything off of the upper body is great. You know, this is something that Cash did not sound like he downplayed. He did not give the dreaded he'll miss some time. He just said, you know, doesn't anticipate a lot. So hopefully that just means like, you know, yeah, spot starter 2 from Boyle. I think Boyle's an exciting guy. Like, I think this is where you don't want to dip into that so early, but I mean, Joe Boyle showed some really encouraging development this spring. You have Ian Seymour as well. So you could just kind of maybe, it may not be like a full, like 5-6 innings from Boyle. It might be almost like purposeful, like piggybacking. But yeah, you don't want to see any injuries. You're relatively clean. There's going to be, though, it's a tough one, right? Like, you're seeing a lot of injuries around the league. I think the Rays got relatively clean when it comes to that. So if this is the worst of it early, we'll take it. But you know, this is a long season. So you just got to try to stay as healthy as possible and miss as little time as possible. I know this is a big one for Pepiot this season. You know, like last year, I think pitched pretty well, but like the results got really away from him. A lot of those fly balls in Steinbrenner, just, you know, it was a horrible place to play for pitchers. I think he's one of the guys that was the most beneficial to potentially moving back to the Trop. So hopefully he'll be able to kind of get right and kind of get onto the season, because it's a big season for him, for his development.
I also think for this type of injury, like, I don't think it's something that necessarily he felt like today and they decided to put him on the IL. This might have been something that he was trying to work throughout spring training, and it's so minor that he felt it, but it wasn't necessarily impacting him. But you make the decision where, okay, we're not going to interrupt his season once it gets going. We're going to put you on the IL now. There's still lots of stuff happening in Port Charlotte before, like minor league assignments, and you've got extended spring training and all of that. So it's not going to really take him out of rhythm. He's just going to kind of keep getting his work in there. I think he's got to miss, I don't know if it's 15 days starting today, so that could limit him to missing 2 trips through the rotation. If they plan it right, I think he might have to miss 3. You mentioned Boyle taking the spot in the rotation. I think it's interesting to note that it wasn't Ian Seymour. Ian Seymour is going to be on the opening day roster. He is going to be in the bullpen. And the way the bullpen looks now, and we'll break that down more in a little bit, but they prioritized length in multi-inning relievers. And I also do wonder, you know, if Boyle gets a start here and the next time he is piggybacking off of someone, or the third time they're turning it into a bullpen day before Pepiot returns, and then we see the bullpen kind of shift back to quote unquote normal once Pepiot takes that spot in the rotation. Because there's also, like, you got to watch the innings. Steven Matz looked really good. Was it yesterday? In 5 innings of work, he looked fully stretched out and ready to go. But Nick Martinez, your other signing, we talked about how bad his last outing was. I think it was like 11 earned runs or something like that. I don't know if you're going to be up. One, he just like has had mixed results in the big leagues. I know I can see why the Rays like him, and I'm not opposed to signing a guy like that. But you're not going to necessarily be able to count on him as like give him the ball and he's going to throw 6 innings. You're going to need length when Matz maybe can only go 4 one game, or Martinez gets yanked in the 4th or 5th, and you need to make up these innings. So it feels like right now, other than Rasmussen and who am I missing in the rotation? Another pitcher that threw last year, not McClanahan.
Well, Pepia was it. So
okay,
it's
no, that's
right now. That's it. It's you have the 2 new guys
and the
you got
guy
the
coming
old
off an
hats.
injury. So you need a lot of innings to come from guys not in the starting rotation. Elijah, are you worried? Like, innings in the rotation was a big worry of mine up until they signed Martinez. And like, imagine the situation they'd be in now without him. Are you worried about the state of the rotation and the entire pitching staff going into the year?
Yeah, man, because as much as I love Joe Boyle's profile, like I don't care how nasty ball 4 is. Like, he's got to get length. Yeah, length is a big issue here. Like you said, I'm happy Seymour made the opening day roster, but I like him in a swing role just because you don't know what happened. Like with like you said, with Nick Martinez, we don't know what we're getting as far as him in a Rays uniform. So,
and it's starting to get thin with the 40-man guys that are not going to be on the opening day roster. You've got Joe Rock and Jesse Schultz, who could both come up and like throw bulk innings if there were another injury early on. Hunter Biggie is the other one. I think Alex Cook are your only 2 other pitchers, and I guess we'll just slide on over to Hunter Biggie. He was left off the opening day roster, which was pretty shocking to me. I know Darby is a Biggie fan, Biggie fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, Darby, it does kind of make sense right now why they would leave him off, given what they have to tackle here going into the year.
No, I think they like Biggie a ton. I think he's shown, like, when healthy, when not, fluke injuries where he gets hit in the dugout with a baseball. Like, he is a really, really good reliever. I think he could be one of the Rays' best relievers, but he's a 1 inning guy. He's a high leverage guy. And right now the Rays do actually have some pretty good guys in that spot. Even without like Edwin Uceda, if he has to, like, if he's limited at all, like, you still have, I think, Baker, Jax, and Clevenger, as you're feeling pretty confident with those guys going 1. I think Biggie would be there talent-wise, performance-wise, but I think they really want guys that can, again, like, we're talking about length. We're talking about stretching these innings out, especially early in the season. You're not getting guys that are going to be throwing like 8 or 9 anyway. Even if they could later on, like, that is not for this early season. That is not for March. That stuff, and it's not for April. That's kind of as April rolls in to May. So yeah, you're going with guys that give you a little bit more length. Mason Englert had many multi-inning performances this spring. He used to be a starter. I think he slots in really well there. Yohendris Gomez had a pretty nice World Baseball Classic. He's a former starter. Only really went 2 innings there, but like, I think 2 innings there. And Kevin Kelly, I think, is the guy that kind of like jumped Biggie. Obviously, I feel like Rays fans have some strong opinions about Kevin Kelly. That's not unwarranted. But Kevin Kelly, 2 seasons ago was like one of the most reliable pen arms. So he has not been great, last year. But he can go 2 innings pretty consistently, or he can get into a second up and down. I think right now that is the big key. We're going to see Biggie, though. Like, he is coming up. He is going to absolutely, like, dazzle some folks. And you're going to be needing to dip into that depth. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Cook as well, but like, I think Biggie is your like next man up if they need at least, that short relief. I think Schultz might be the next guy up if you need that longer one. I wouldn't be surprised if he in early April gets a spot start even.
Yeah, and like maybe sooner rather than later. Like, if Nick Martinez wakes up on Monday or whenever he's scheduled to pitch now, and hamstring is still bothering him, all right, put him on the IL and call the next guy up. Again, I get the decisions. I am worried about like early on, and this might only be like 2 weeks. We're worried about this. I am worried about it hurting the team's ability in the first 2 weeks to win a couple baseball games. And I'm not trying to sound the alarms. I'm just saying I'm looking at this bullpen. I'm looking at this rotation, and it's thank God that's not the way it's going to look a month from now, assuming everyone stays healthy. But right now, pitchers on the injured list, we have Pepio. We still have Manuel Rodriguez recovering from surgery. Edwin Uceda, obviously a big piece in the back end of the bullpen, missing out. And Steven Wilson, a guy that I was excited to see, is on the injured list as well. So the bullpen is as follows. Your back end guys are going to be Griffin Jacks, Garrett Clevenger, and Brian Baker. Then you've got this mixture of guys that can go 1, 2, 3 innings in a number of different roles. Kevin Kelly, Ian Seymour, Mason Engler, Yoendris Gomez, and Cole Sulser. I think Sulser making this team was also of note. He had kind of like a two-way contract. I don't know what the word is for it in baseball, but he has out of options, but the type of deal the Rays signed him to, basically he was pre-agreeing to take an assignment in Durham if that's what the Rays decided at the end of spring training. There was a spot for him. The Rays' love affair with Cole Sulser goes back years, and I think there's a mutual respect there. And a guy that, hey, we're going to need you to throw 2 innings twice this week, and then do it again next week just to get us through. I think Sulser he's ready to be an org soldier, right? He's ready to get that job done and pitch at the big league level. Elijah, is there any other out of those names in the bullpen? Is there any other than like Jacks that you're really excited to see what they add to the team this year?
I love Brian Baker in high leverage. Like you're talking about a huge guy, 6'6", carry fastball. I love Baker in high leverage. I trust him. The bridge, if we get a starter through 6, I'm fine. Jacks, Clevenger, Baker, however you want to run them, I'm okay with that. We know Jacks is a former starter, so he can go up and down, back out there if need be, and be okay. But if we get through 6, I'm okay. It's the guys going like 4 1/3, and we got to go to Kelly and Englert or something of the sort. I'm a little worried about, but I think we'll do better on the offensive end, but we'll get back to that. We'll get to that in a little later in the program here. But I like the pen. I think the pen is the biggest strong suit of the team right now.
I think the back end of the pen. I think Jacks, like, you might have the best reliever in baseball in Griffin Jacks. And Brian Baker, I think, did not realize his full potential last year with the Rays. I'm excited to see what he does with a full season with the team. And Garrett Clevenger is reliable. I think when this bullpen is fully realized, and if they decide to maybe convert Ian Seymour to a relief arm and not keep him stretched out, if that's the direction they go in, then this bullpen looks really dangerous. I'm a little nervous about it now. The other news I want to cover about the bullpen is kind of big league journeyman Jake Woodford, who did not make the team, then traded to Milwaukee. I know he was starting to become a D-Rays Bay darling. He was one of those. I know Ben Whitelaw was on the Jake Woodford train, wrote about him, and Tampa native, right? So kind of sad to see him not make the team. And I guess a little surprising. Like, it seemed like we were starting to get the smoke, right? That we were going to follow the smoke. Like, oh, Jake Woodford could make this bullpen, could be an important part of this team. And to not only see him not make the team, obviously he would have had the opportunity to explore opportunities elsewhere. But the Rays, the Brewers were interested. They get to skip the line by making a trade with the Rays. That's what they do. I guess I'm not like too bummed about losing out on Jake Woodford, but I'm always nervous when they trade a reliever, especially to another team that is as pitching savvy as the Rays, like Milwaukee, and it could turn into like a what could have been story here with Jake Woodford.
Although the same could be said from Milwaukee. You have Casey Hunt, who's also shown some pretty interesting stuff, and younger, only 25, has kind of like a kitchen sink approach. So do you go like, hey, if the Rays pitching factory wants Hunt, this is one of those trades where you have two of the best pitching development organizations in baseball. So like, you're both like, I don't know. I feel like the Brewers and the this is not the Phillies, right? This is the Brewers. So the Brewers and the Rays have actually matched up on some good win-win trades. right? Like I think they both will rerun the Rasmussen Adames trade again. Like I think there's been some really nice like hookups there with two teams that have like I think front offices that have a lot of similar think in terms of like what they're interested in and what they're not interested in, and so they can kind of be like, well, this isn't fit for us, so like let me call up Arnold and Milwaukee and say like, hey, I bet you want this guy. We like this guy. We've talked about them before. So I don't know. I do think this one, it's like Woodford's interesting from our perspective, but like Hunt he's shown some interesting stuff in the past too. So I think you got similar levels of like both guys may not do anything, probably, like statistically speaking. They're probably both not gonna contribute, but could be interesting arms. Definitely going to Milwaukee is like probably the best case scenario for Woodford, because if you're not going to make with the Rays, next up is another team that will absolutely make the most out of every pitcher. Whether it works out or not is another thing, but
yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on Jake Woodford, although I do think there's something in that arm, and he does project to be in that Milwaukee bullpen and probably play somewhat of a decent role early on here in the season. Let's shift things over to the position player side. Injury news to two Rays middle infielders. If I had to guess, I think they would have been the starting shortstop and second baseman on opening day for the team.
Probably.
That is Taylor Walls, who hits the IL with an oblique strain and a hip impingement for, right, it was hip for Gavin Lux.
Shoulder
impingement, not a hip impingement.
Cranky shoulder.
Shoulder. I was getting the hip injuries confused with Pepio. So a shoulder injury for Gavin Lux. Both will start on the injured list. Oblique with Walls sounds a little more serious. Those things are never very straightforward. The Lux injury, that sounds a little bit more precautionary. But what that means is Carson Williams is coming up to the big league team and was named the starting shortstop. The Rays said he is going to be our shortstop. No mystery about it. He's not going to play every day there. I'm sure Ben Williamson will get some time mixed in. Second base looks like a platoon between Richie Palacios and Ben Williamson. I don't know if that's going to be a straight lefty-righty platoon. I think it might be tilted more towards Williamson's playing time. We can talk about lineup construction in a minute. And then Williamson also is going to get some time at third base and shortstop, backing up Caminero and Carson Williams. Listen, don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I don't think Rays fans are too upset about Carson Williams being the opening day shortstop on this team.
That's the positive. That's the positive, right? Let's look at that. It's not the Walls thing. It is the opportunity that is right here. And the timing of this was so wild, because Carson Williams was sent down, optioned down, and later that day, like not like hours later, Walls hits the IL, and then Carson kind of gets yo-yoed right back. Williams, to his credit, he said everything like what you want to see from him. He talked to Adam Berry about basically like this, if I was sent down to Durham, I knew what I had to work on, and I was going to work hard as hell to get back up. At that point, there was still like discussion about whether Carson Williams would stay on the big league club, or if they, potentially go out and there's a couple vets, like Chris Taylor got released. Like you can get like a guy, some old guy to come in and, maybe be the backup to Ben Williamson type of thing. I think this is a really good sign that Carson Williams, he had a great spring. I think he did a lot of the things that you wanted to see out of him and make that next step up. This is a really cool sign to say like, yep, we were going to go with Walls because I think they respect that defense, Williamson, that versatility. But now that there's that opening, I love that they're saying, you know what, Carson, okay, you got it. You got this job. You're the starting shortstop. You're going to get opening day. You're going to get all that. I think that's the way you got to do this.
And let's say that Carson plays for a month, right? And if he is underwater, looking like he did late last season at the plate, and Taylor Walls is ready to come back, your decision's pretty easy. You just send him back to AAA, let him kind of rebuild his confidence, and put Taylor Walls back at shortstop. However, if Carson Williams starts to take that next step against big league pitching, and let's say a month into the season, he's got a 90 WRC plus or better, and he's showing pop and he's stealing bases and he's playing good defense, your decision is pretty easy. He is your shortstop moving forward, and Taylor Walls just loses his job. And so if you're the Rays, I advocated for them sending Carson down before the Walls injury. I was on board with it. I thought that Carson obviously has way higher upside than a Taylor Walls at this point, but also had a significantly low floor, and that floor might still be there. He might come in and struggle big time against big league pitching again. But right now, there's really no other choice. It kind of forces your hand, and then it's sink or swim time for Carson. In some ways, I think the Rays are going to be better off because they're going to see early on. Carson's put together a pretty good spring. I've been pretty happy with what I've seen from him, and I'm starting to be more optimistic about his big league prospects as early as this season. But yeah, that's kind of the situation we're in. Elijah, any thoughts here on middle infield or middle infield depth?
So my thing with Taylor Walls has always been the glove is slick as all ever, and I saw Carson boot one up the middle today. So
yeah, took a little bit of a weird hop.
Yeah,
but it's a ball that Taylor Walls fields for sure.
Right. So if he's a little bit more consistent on the defensive end, I'm cool with it. Like last year was rough at the plate, but then again, I mean, we're talking about what you're talking about Carson Williams versus Taylor Walls here. So if Carson's consistent throughout the way, it's his job. If we see lapses of, if he throws the ball to first and it sails, or if we're getting like 2-3 errors a week, then you could look at Ben Williamson and go from there. But we'll see. It's showtime for Carson. You got the job, so let's go.
And there's a couple of other situations like this. You look at Richie Palacios, who is now going to come up and play, I think, a good amount of second base with Gavin Lux. I don't think he's penciled in as the everyday second baseman or the second baseman against right-handed pitching, because I think Williamson will get some opportunities there, even against righties, because of how many lefties you have throughout the lineup in other spots. But Palacios gets an opportunity here. The Rays, I think, wanted to give Palacios an opportunity. Kevin Cash spoke very highly of Richie Palacios, even though he wasn't going to make the team originally. And it's been some things outside of Richie's control, some of the injuries that probably got the Rays to this point where they felt they needed to sign Jake Fraley and trade for Gavin Lux and not put that trust in Richie Palacios. But now he gets his opportunity early in the season. And all right, it's kind of put up or shut up. Can you play? Can you play consistently? And can you stay healthy? That's been the biggest thing. When he's played for the Rays, he has been effective. He has been an above average major league, like deserves to be a regular with the way he's played. He just has not been able to stay on the field.
Well, and that's the thing. We sort of were talking about this. I feel like if Richie Palacios stayed healthy last year, there's a pretty good chance that they don't even trade for Gavin, or they don't sign Gavin Lux, right? Like that is sort of the level, which is Gavin Lux has kind of done a lot of very similar to what Richie Palacios has done in the major leagues. Like Gavin Lux has done it longer, he's done it for more, and that's kind of the level. But if Palacios stayed healthy last year, showed that he could handle it, I think like you could have easily seen him coming into this season as a part of the platoon. I think what they saw though was that the best ability sometimes is availability, and he has not been there. And so I think because of that, they really saw that as like, okay, let's bring in some of that competition. It's just kind of ironic though. This is the first time that like it's the opposite. Palacios is available. He's here. He's healthy. He did not have a great spring. He was not sharp at all. And I think like this is just, I think, a good reset, right? Because spring training stats, it doesn't really matter. You really are a matter. Like we've seen Richie Palacios perform in the majors. We know he can do some stuff. This is a huge opportunity. I mean, this is like for both of those injuries, those could not have been more like impactful points of players that you have. Like, I feel like internally the Rays probably would like to see, like, you don't want to make that choice necessarily, Carson Williams over Taylor Walls, but having that choice made for you, having the cards dealt for you to have to play that hand. I don't know if
Yeah.
You put some true serum into Eric Neander, maybe he might be like, this isn't the worst outcome, because you know what you're going to get from Gavin Lux when he's healthy. You know what you're getting from Taylor Walls at this point. There is no surprises in there. This is an opportunity, at least early on in the season, to see what you got.
You also remain flexible. I think that's the thing that hurt the Rays more than helped them. Your injuries drove you into rigid lineups, guys that can only play in a couple different spots. At second base, like we haven't mentioned Ryan Valade, who can play and probably will play some second base at points early on in the season. You can mix and match your lineups a lot more. And I think, Darby, you kind of alluded to it, the Rays could get situationally better. Gavin Lux was going to be the everyday second baseman, probably getting some off days against lefties, but he was going to play 5 or 6 times a week. And now you're not kind of stuck to that. Not that you were, you chose to bring in Lux, but you have the opportunity to give guys different opportunities, try different lineups, try different defensive alignments early on. And I think we're going to see Kevin Cash do a lot of that.
Yeah, like I can tell you firsthand, I just thought about it. Palacios got hurt last year. His first game back against the Yankees, dude hit a double, slid to second base funny, came out of the game, and we didn't really see him again. So I'm like, that's the story, man. You can't make the club in the tub, as you know, Eric Davis used to say. So it's time. Like, this was the spring. It's like, okay, we saw what happened last year. We're gonna bring in competition. Here we go. Have at it. Like, it's yours. You can play yourself into it. You can play yourself out of it. This is totally your decision.
Kind of, same thing we're saying with Joe Boyle, right? You're getting your opportunity in the rotation. You showed flashes last year. You have to put it together this season, and I think that level of competition could breed some success for the Rays this year. Moving over to the outfield, no major surprises here in the outfield. It's going to be Chandler Simpson, Cedric Mullins, Jake Fraley, Johnny DeLuca, and Ryan Valade. We talked about Valade probably mixing in at infield a little bit, maybe some time at designated hitter, but kind of projects as an outfielder. Going into spring, I wasn't sure how they felt about Chandler Simpson or throughout the offseason, given the fact that they went out and they got 2 other left-handed hitting outfielders. I think it's important, though, to not look at Chandler Simpson as like a left-handed hitting outfielder. He's kind of platoon neutral. He is in there for reasons other than his handedness. He makes the team. I think he's going to play a lot. I think he's going to play pretty much every day. He's going to play against lefties and righties. The rest of the outfield and their playing time, I'm not sure about. I'm curious what you guys think. I mean, Cedric Mullins, he's probably close to an everyday player with his veteran status and the amount of money the Rays signed him for.
I'm kind of curious with Chandler, because that is the player that is the most polarizing, I could imagine, even in the Rays front office and the dugout. Like, personality wise, he's a great guy. He seems to be like exactly the type of personality you want in the clubhouse, want in the field. He does work hard. The polarizing part is that game. I think you could absolutely have somebody think this guy is unique. He's special. He has a gift that is unique in the game, like, right? A unique skill set in the modern game. And you can also find somebody that says, like, yeah, that skill set is not going to play. You can't defend singles. We saw with Luis Ariz, right? He is available every year, multiple time batting crown. And everyone's like, yeah, I don't really want a guy that can hit a bunch of singles. We need somebody who can actually do more than that. Chandler Simpson is such an interesting one. What I'm curious about, the thing that I'm mostly curious about, because I think as a hitter, there is something there that I do think is valuable to have on the roster. The defense is the thing that I'm the most concerned about. I know, Elijah, you did a lot of spring training games. Were you able to see any of Chandler live, and like, has he taken a next step in the field?
I mean, his jumps looked a lot cleaner. Like, we're not seeing him get beat over his head a lot like he did last year. Like, I remembered, I think Moises Ballesteros. If you've seen Moises Ballesteros play, he's not that fleet of foot. He got a triple in left field off of Chandler last year. Like, it got bad. And I'm a big Chandler guy myself. I was like, this is ugly. But he looks a lot more comfortable. He's not getting beat over the top now. He's making cleaner routes. I know he worked in the offseason with Michael Harris and Marquise Grissom.
Mm-hmm.
They got a thing going in Atlanta in the offseason. So he put the work in. I'm excited to see how he is defensively and how he is on this new Trop turf, because if it's playing slower like they said this morning, and if he's bunting, like this could get he might steal 70. So like we'll see. I'm excited for him.
And you can tell with Chandler, what I think you talked about, the putting in the work, that it's totally true. Like they brought in Kevin Kiermaier as well, like, right, to like the team, I think if they did not see him, if they saw him as a novelty, right, it's like, yeah, he steals a lot of bases, he'll be a great pinch runner in October. I don't think you do this much. I don't think you go through all of these efforts. I think they see him as a guy that, like, he did not have a lot of outfield time. He was new to the position. And it's one of those things where, like, if he's putting in that hard work, I think there's a lot of reward there. And Eric Neanders talked about the thing that basically the target is, if he can get to first, if he can get there on a 350 clip, that is a dangerous impact weapon. And Chandler talked about that. He basically said, like, 350, like, I got to get to first. Like, that is the thing. Like, if I get to first, everything goes from there. So he's in. He's locked in here. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing. That's the thing with Carson and Chandler. They both have come into this spring. I look at process in the spring. I don't really care too much about results. I want to see the process. And they've both done the things that I most wanted to see. And they've also, the thing that I'm mostly getting, because I'm not seeing a lot of the games, is I'm hearing what they're saying. They get it. They both get, like, Carson Williams is basically, I can't strike out 40% of the time. I got to make more contact. I got to be able to, like, use my pop. If you're whiffing, you're not hitting it out of the park. And for Chandler, it's like, I just got to get to first. It's the only base he can't steal. If you can get to first, the rest of them are there. We saw it. Like, he can change a game on the bases. Pitchers are completely thrown off. It's an absolute nightmare. He can get to second. A bloop will easily get you in. And we've seen him, like, completely throw off defenses too. So getting to first. And the bunts are the interesting. You mentioned that, like, we saw him throw down a lot of bunts this spring.
I think that'll be interesting. And if he can get on first, the extra bases don't come from his bat. They come from his legs. We talk about taking the defense seriously. I think there's also, and maybe I misread the situation here, I do wonder if there's an element, if when he got to camp this year, the Rays said, look, you're going to be our starting left fielder. We don't want you to worry about making the team out of camp. We want you to focus on becoming the best player you can be, because you're going to be our left fielder. I think that takes an element of pressure off of any player. And so if the Rays told him that, I'm just speculating here, I think that changes how you approach the spring. You are not playing for your spot. You are getting ready in spring training the way a major leaguer gets ready for the season in spring training. You're not fighting for a spot. You're preparing for a 162 game season. And listen, I've been, I don't want to call myself a Chandler Simpson denier. I've been a Chandler Simpson skeptic. Okay. But there is something about when he's in the game, and you just have to start thinking about things that you don't have to think about for any player in baseball, other than maybe Victor Scott, who we'll see early, like one of the only guys that's faster, I think, than Chandler at peak speed. I would love to see those guys.
We get him a race. We got to get a race. We got to get him on the track. Race. Yeah.
And Victor Scott, though, a little bit better defensively, had some
good friends, though, too. Like that. Yeah. That would be a great rivalry right there. Been Victor on Scott the same tracks. Yeah. Chandler can hit. He has contact. Like that is the unique thing. That's where I'm also kind of a Chandler skeptic, but, like, I want to believe. I'm Fox Mulder here. I want to believe, because I want, the best thing about baseball is that there's not one way to crack this game, right? There's not, like, I need to see, and that's the thing, right? It's like you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to be 6'5", 250, and you got to hit home runs. You got to do, like, this, and this. Like, we know what works well in baseball, right? But there's a lot of ways to get to not making outs. We've seen that with, like, the Milwaukee Brewers created the best offense in baseball last year by basically getting 28 outs, making teams just make one defensive mistake, capitalize on, like, an extra hit. Chandler Simpson is one of one, because like we've seen it, like Victor Scott, one of the fastest guys in the game, has nothing in the bat. And that's a big danger. So if Chandler can just improve just a little bit on defense, that bat is enough of a weapon. And we saw him, like, I think he could be and he's such a fun player that I want it to work out, right? Like, the league is more fun when you're getting somebody like Chandler Simpson being like an impact player.
I was just about to say, like, he's one of those few guys where if he's leading off the next half inning, I was like, I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm staying right here. I got to see this. I got to see what happens. It could be a Baltimore chop. It could be a triple. You never know, So
it could, now we know it could be a home run. It could be an over the fence home run, which he got his first one.
He got his
first one in the spring.
Yeah, he foot over the fence. 343 fence, 344 was the distance. I'm like, my goodness.
Right there.
There is something about, and I saw it a little bit in Durham, when he comes up, everybody in the field, the pitcher and the first baseman included, are like, okay, if the ball comes to me, I have to really think about how quickly I need to get the ball to first base to get him out. Like, that is something your first baseman cannot sit on the back of their heels, just waiting for a ground ball to field routinely when he's up at the bat. Like, I don't know how much that adds as a hitter, but it adds something. Like, there is an element there that is not accounted for in some of the stats that Simpson brings to the table. It is truly game-breaking speed, and maybe that leads to my skepticism. Like, I cannot, my brain cannot compute it, so I don't know how to value him. But I do know that he's exciting to watch, and if he's the opening day left fielder, I will be, like I said, optimistic, positive today. It's opening day. We're going to look at the positives for everybody on this roster. The rest of the outfield looks like it'll be Mullins and DeLuca splitting time in center. And then you've got Fraley, Valade, DeLuca in right. Maybe some Mullins in right as well. I'm interested to see the first lineup of the season against a lefty. How that lines up. Like, Jonathan Ronda will be in the lineup. I guess they'll go with Fortes, but I'm not 100% sure about that. You will probably go with Williams and Williamson up the middle. So do you play a couple more lefties in the outfield? If Simpson starts, does Mullins also get the nod? Does that push Valade or DeLuca to right, or Mullins to right and DeLuca to center? How do you guys kind of see this shaking down? Like, let's talk specifically about Thursday against Matthew Liberatore. Starting outfield. I don't care about position in the lineup, but just outfield left to right. How do you guys see Kevin Cash filling this lineup card out?
Well, Elijah, you take it first.
I think I'll go Mullins in center, Simpson in left, and probably DeLuca in right, because you need a righty. I think Simpson and Mullins play because you paid Mullins.
Yeah.
I think that.
Then what? So does Valade go to the bench there?
I think Valade goes to the bench because I wish I had their bullpen pulled up, but I think Valade goes to the bench. Yes,
I do have their bullpen up, but Darby, you go ahead.
I think it's Chandler in left. I think like you said, Brett, I think that there is like a potential of, like, we want you to prepare, right? You've been working on this. I can't imagine Mullins isn't in center field, right? Like, I think that's just, he's going to sit against some lefties, but he's not going to sit against all lefties. And he's one of your vet leaders, right? Like, he's making it. He's in opening day. Like, that might not be your premier. Like, I think Chandler Simpson has a better chance of sitting than Mullins, even though Chandler is platoon neutral. So I think Mullins is in center. And then I agree. I think DeLuca is in right field, but I think Valade is at second. I think Williamson, which pains me, as one of the big Ben Williamson backers. I think he is on the bench to start it off, because I think you got to get Carson in there as well. So I think Williamson on the bench. Valade, I think, is your best lefty hitter. Like, in terms of platoon bats, obviously the top three are your best hitters. But, like, your platoon bat, I think Valade has to get in there. I think DeLuca, you want that defense, right? If you're still, like, want to be a little bit soft with Chandler, and, like, he's hopefully improved, but he's still going to be your weakest outfielder. Mullins and DeLuca can cover a lot of ground. They, shift Cedric over a little bit to kind of help back up Chandler. DeLuca kind of can shift over and cover a little bit of what Cedric's given up there. I think that's a pretty good outfield. If you have Vlade and, Vlade's been okay in the outfield, but like he is not. Johnny DeLuca is a legit center fielder. And so I think having Mullins and DeLuca in there, you pretty much have two center fielders there. I know Mullins a little older, maybe a little bit better in the corner, but I think, again, I deter to the veteran, the guy who's done it for enough, who's going to be a leader in the clubhouse. I say Cedric in center.
Yeah.
DeLuca and Chandler.
My initial thought was Simpson, Mullins, Vlade, Darby. You've kind of changed my mind. There are two lefties in the Cardinals bullpen. You've got Justin Brule and then Jojo Romero, who's going to be one of their high leverage guys.
Yeah.
And I think a defensive alignment of Simpson, Mullins, and DeLuca allows you to have a big right-handed bat on your bench and Ryan Vlade. And in my lineup, I'll have Williamson starting. Ryan Vlade could come in off the bench and hit against a Jojo Romero in a big spot. And then you also have Jake Fraley on the bench who could come in against any of the righties in the bullpen. And that could be an easy Fraley pinch hitting for DeLuca spot in the middle to late innings. And then just takes his spot in right field. I think that works out well too for opening day. I don't want to spend too much time on the opening day lineup, but I think that does give you some insight into the options that Kevin Cash has, because he does have options. Like last year,
this is the most exciting. This
last
opening
year
day
we went like a week.
Exciting.
It was like Mangum, Meisner, Jankowski for like a week. Like he had never done that before, but he didn't really have a choice last year when everybody got hurt. He has options. Yeah. Richie Palacios can play in a corner outfield as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to start a lot out there, but substitutions and game changes, that's another option in the corners as well.
That's the big thing, is as the game evolves, what starts the game, what ends the game could be totally different, right? Chandler could get subbed out. You could put Palacios out there, still fast, but a little bit better defensively. You could move Williamson into the lineup, into second base, lock in that infield defense, Junior, Carson, Williamson, and then Arando across it. Like there's a lot of like chess pieces there. And I agree, like Cash hasn't had a chance to do that. It's been like, this is what I got. I can't play Christopher Morel because he can't defend and he can't hit. So I'm just gonna have him there, be the cheerleader for. It's just Junior's friend. I just have to have this guy who's his friend here, and you can just see Cash just like the soul is leaving his body every time. He's like, I don't know. I got traded with you, Eric. You gave me this guy, and I can't use him. So. He's a nice enough guy then. Junior likes him, so.
I'm still completely confused about the Morel situation. I am and I'm not. But I don't know. I thought he could have played more than he did. But
I thought so too. I thought just why not? But
I was a believer. Let's talk a little bit more about the Cardinals, and then we'll get into our trivia. I'm really excited about that. So I don't want to rush through the Cardinals, but I'm excited to get to the conclusion of our show. It's a 3-game series, Friday off day for weather. The Rays are on the road, which for 9 games to open the season, and obvious reasons why, finishing touches on Tropicana Field, the rebuilt Tropicana Field. But it is somewhat of a rare occurrence for the Rays to open on the road. The Royals are going to throw out Matthew Liberatore, Michael McGreevy, and then their new starting pitcher, Dustin May. The Rays, on the other hand, so I know it's Rasmussen Boyle, then I think it's Steven Matz for the series finale, a former St. Louis Cardinal. I think that's an interesting storyline going into this weekend. As much as I'm not super pumped about the names the Rays are throwing out there, I'm a Matthew Liberatore fan. But man, this Cardinals team and the pitching rotation and the pitching staff in general, it is very much in rebuild mode. Mm-hmm. And I'm not scared by any of these names.
I think Ivan Herrera is really good.
Alec Burleson.
JJ Weatherholt is going to be interesting. Good top prospect. No, I think our old friend Hein Bloom is he's got a lot to work with but this is a rebuild, right? Like I think there's some exciting pieces, but there is a lot of this was an off season for the Cardinals where they did a lot of overhaul. They were overhauling a lot. And this is going to be a season where they also are trying to find out a lot of things, right? They're throwing JJ Weatherholt into the fire. Kind of a make or break it year for Jordan Walker, who's got like so much potential. And I feel like if he doesn't work out, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to call that and say, like, I can fix that. I know I can tap into that power. But yeah, no, I kind of agree. Not to say that they aren't, like I think Libertor is pretty decent, but this is a team that's gonna be a lot better in the future. Let's just say that. That's a very nice way to put it.
I was looking at their roster. I'm like, this might be the leanest Cardinals roster that I've seen since I've been like actually watching baseball. Like this is.
The Cardinals like are it's March Madness, so they are like a blue blood of baseball, like historic franchise, tons of World Series, and always had, like Elijah said, they always had star power. Like growing up for me, it was Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina, and Adam Wainwright, and then you have like Paul Goldschmidt and things like things just seem to have gotten away from them, and I think. Chaim Bloom is in there at the right time. I think he's going to have a different approach than he did in Boston. I think he was kind of handcuffed in Boston in a number of ways by ownership. I think he's going to be given the reins here in some time to try to figure this out. I know the Cardinals, it's like the Cardinal way. Like they're, again, very like old school baseball blue blood. And it does feel like this is a new Cardinals that haven't quite found their identity yet. And so because of that, I'm excited for the Rays to open the season against them. Listen, it's a 3-game series on the road. Anything can happen. The Rays aren't projected by many people to be all that great this year either. And you can look at their roster and see why that is. But I do feel like this is an opportunity for the Rays to take advantage of a team in St. Louis that doesn't quite know who they are yet. Any other thoughts about the Cardinals?
Just to piggyback on opening day, I think Mark Topkin tweeted it. The high Thursday in St. Louis is 91 and the low is 37.
That's St. Louis weather for you right there at this time of year. It's going to get warm. 4:15, so that'll be a 3:15 local time. First pitch on Thursday. I guess you just gotta hope for no weather, right? Like weather could also roll in with those rapid changes of temperature. They've got the built-in off day on Friday. And yeah, so like biggest offseason acquisition was Dustin May, I guess. They got rid of Arenado, Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras. JJ Weatherholt, I think, is a really exciting player. Looks like he'll hit towards the top of their lineup and play second base. I think that is a player to watch, but he'll be making his big league debut. So that'll be interesting. Darby mentioned Ivan Herrera, pretty good hitter. Alec Burleson, also really good hitter against right-handed pitching. The bullpen, they're kind of going to go closer by committee. Riley O'Brien, Matt Swanson, Jojo Romero, and Ryan Stanek is also going to be in the mix for high leverage situations. So an old friend alert there. And should be interesting. It's interleague play. It's weird, but I'm thinking the Rays are going to take 2 out of 3. I don't know which one we're going to lose. It might be the opener, which seems weird with Rasmussen on the mound and a fully rested bullpen. I don't know, but I think the Rays come in to St. Louis, start their road trip with 2 wins. Any other predictions from you guys?
I'll take 2 out of 3. Like, for some reason, I think Dustin May is gonna give us fits. I don't exactly know why, but I'll take 2 out. I'll take 2 out of 3. But I just have a tidbit on the Cardinals opening day stuff. They have one of the best opening day festivities I've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure.
All the guys, all of the guys on the roster, they get carried around on like the back of a Chevy truck or whatever car they pick, and they got the Budweiser Clydesdales there. Like if you can look it up, it's awesome. Like they do it up. They have all their their living Cardinals Hall of Famers and like their red jackets is sweet.
It's the Cardinal way. It is different there, and their fans. I've got family in Missouri. I know some Cardinals fans. They take a lot of pride in their baseball team, and sometimes too much. There is like a holier than thou, I think, mentality from Cardinals fans. But that does seem cool. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. And like opening day should be celebrated, right? Like it should be the biggest show in town that day, and so that's cool. I wish I could be out there for that. Any other thoughts on the Cardinals before we get to tonight's main event?
I think they have been. I think this is. I really do think Chaim Bloom is doing some really good things over there. I really am liking the direction they're going. I think for a long time they've been kind of stagnant and kind of spinning their wheels. And I think this is finally like it may not be the best season this year, but I think it's a direction, and it's a direction they've been needing to go in. And I think Chaim Bloom is really doing some great stuff.
Yeah. I agree. I'm excited to see what he does there.
They let go of Brendan Donovan too. That was their other one that they let.
Oh yeah, of course, Brendan Donovan going to Seattle. Yeah,
and Lars Nootbaar, who I really like, he is going to be missing the start of this. So that's another one of their solid bats, but
future
again,
Ray,
very much injury prone. I feel like I've been trying to get him traded to the Rays for years.
All right, let's crack into the trivia here. The first one is going to be Elijah versus Darby. It's going to be opening day themed trivia. And listen, I put some thought into this. I tried to make it as even as possible. I tried to make a mixture of questions that I thought were somewhat easily answerable and some that I think are going to be more difficult. But we've got two very knowledgeable people here going up against each other. There's going to be 5 rounds. A question for each contestant per round. If you miss that question, your opponent will have a chance to steal and take the full point. So it'll be 10 questions asked in total. And I do have a tiebreaker. I have to pull it back up if we get there, but we will play to completion even once someone hits the number of points to secure the victory. We'll go through all 5 rounds here. We are going to start. I think, should we snake this? Should we go like Elijah, Darby, Elijah? Is that I think that's the way to go.
Sure.
You guys are looking. I'm the host. I should know.
I was going to say I'm just a contestant. I don't know.
We will snake it then. Well, we will start with Elijah with question 1. Okay. And again, this is opening day themed trivia. Number 1, despite picking up the loss against Toronto, this pitcher holds the franchise record for most strikeouts in an opening day start with 12. 12 strikeouts is the record. I'm not going to tell you the year. I feel like that is too much of a giveaway.
Against Toronto. Toronto with 12. Is it Archer?
Chris Archer is correct. He had 12 strikeouts. The Rays as a team struck out 16 in that game, which at the time was a modern era record for opening day. So yeah, Chris Archer with 12, and that was the 2016 opening day win. So that is going to be a point for Elijah. Darby, your first question. The Rays opened the season on Thursday on the road against the St. Louis Cardinals, marking only the 3rd time they open a season against a National League opponent. What team did the Rays play the first time they opened against an NL team? So the first time they opened with an interleague opponent. Now, again, that's not what I'm going to say. Not going to tip the scales in any way here.
Was it Colorado?
Colorado is incorrect. Elijah, you have a chance to steal here.
Was it the Giants?
It was not the Giants. It was 2021. The Rays opened the season in Miami against the Marlins.
It was the Marlins. Damn it. So I thought that was the second. Yeah. I thought that was the second series.
The Rays did play the Rockies to open the season last year. There was a year, was it 2022 2 where they were supposed to play the Pirates, and then or was it 2020? There was a year they were supposed to open against the Pirates, and it was I think the
2020.
COVID shortened season.
It was
That they ended up, I think, opening against Toronto. Okay, I thought that one was
that was a good one.
gettable.
That was a good one.
COVID
really
threw me
had
for a
Miami.
whirlwind. That was
yeah. All right, Darby, we're sticking with you here. On April 2nd, 2017, the Rays defeated the Yankees 7-3 on opening day. This player tallied 3 hits and 3 RBI, kickstarting a campaign that saw him lead the team in homers and finish second in runs batted in that season. Who is the player? April 2nd, 2017, a 7-3 win over the Yankees on opening day. This player had 3 hits and 3 runs batted in.
He had second most home runs?
He was first in homers, second in runs batted in on the team. In 2017.
I'm gonna go with Steven Souza.
It was not Steven Souza. Elijah, you have a chance to steal.
Was it Logan Morrison?
Lomo is correct.
Yes,
Logan Morrison.
That was good. That was my other one. That was my other one because I know they still had Souza, but I was
reading the question to you, Darby, I was unsure if you thought I was going to be setting a Brad Miller trap. For you. It was not that. And I was like, I hope he doesn't think that like I'm setting a trap here, but
because that was the year he complained that Judge made the home run derby and he didn't, and then Judge won. Yeah, that's the only. I was like, wait, who? Okay,
all right.
I should.
Elijah, back to you. The Devil Rays picked up their first opening day victory on April 3rd, 2000, beating the Minnesota Twins 7-0 at the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. They wasted no time scoring in this game, taking a 1-0 lead when this player hit the first leadoff home run on opening day in franchise history. April 3rd, 2000, this player hit the first leadoff home run on opening day in franchise history.
Was it Gerald Williams?
The late, great Gerald Williams is correct. It was Gerald Williams. I think I have some notes on that, but I'm going to save them. So Elijah 3, Darby 0, but Darby, we're going back to you. Actually, no, this one will go back to Elijah. The Rays opened the 2004 season in Tokyo against the New York Yankees and won the opener 8-3. Despite giving up 2 runs in the top of the first, name the starting pitcher that managed to work 6 strong innings and pick up the win in Japan. This was the opener of the 2004 season in the Tokyo Dome against the Yankees.
This was 2004. Ooh. I was in 2nd grade. I'm guessing here. Is it Victor Zambrano?
Victor Zambrano is correct. Elijah, hot start, 4 points.
I'm guessing.
And we're only around 3.
If it wasn't that, I was going to guess Tanyan Sturtz as just like
somebody,
for whatever reason.
Yeah,
it's one of those. Yeah.
It wasn't. Bless us. Oh no, he's still. It wasn't Dwan Brazelton. I'm like, okay, no, not gonna go that far.
All right, Darby, back to you. You're still in it. It's 4-0 Elijah as things stand. In a battle between the top 2 2018 Cy Young finalists, Blake Snell and Justin Verlander pitched against each other in the 2019 opener, in which the Rays lost 5-1 against the Houston Astros. So again, this is the 2019 opener, but it was the top 2 finalists for American League Cy Young from the previous season. Verlander eventually won the Cy Young Award that season, and he pitched 7 innings of 1-run ball in that opening day game. The one blemish on his line came in the bottom of the first when this player hit just the 2nd leadoff home run in opening day in franchise history.
2019?
Yeah. Rays Tigers. It was at the Trop. It was bottom of the first.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been leadoff. 19. I'm actually going to guess Yandy.
Yandy Diaz is incorrect. Elijah, can you steal this one? This might put the game close to bed if you can steal it here.
It was known Chris Archer trade tree guy Austin Meadows.
Austin Meadows hit
Meadows.
lead off that game. Not
Meadows.
a usual
Was a
leadoff
cash
hitter
special.
for the Rays. Let me check this really quick. Yandy Diaz does have a leadoff home run on opening day. It was not that year. I don't remember which year.
It would have been speculative to go against Verlander leadoff, but
yeah, no. But he could hit
Meadows
leadoff
first
against
is
anybody.
also pretty wild. That's pretty.
All right, Darby, we are sticking with you here. This is question. These next questions. These are I don't know. These are tough. These are tough. Technically, I think Elijah has clinched. We have 4 questions left, and he's got a 5-0 lead. But we're going to play to completion here. On April 2nd, 2013, the Rays led the Orioles 3-2 going into the 7th inning. Joe Madden then turned to this often reliable reliever for the 7th, but he ended up allowing 5 runs, including a back-breaking 3-run homer to Chris Davis, which blew the game open in favor of the Orioles, who eventually won 7-4. So name the reliever that gave up 5 runs in the 7th. And I said there's your clue, is he's an often reliable reliever going into the 2013 season.
Yeah, I think 13, I'm going to say Balfour.
That is a good guess. That is incorrect.
He was on the Oakland at that point. Yeah.
I think Balfour's return year was 2012.
14.
Or 14.
It was the next year.
14.
If it wasn't 13, it was 14.
It was 14. So he was with Oakland. Was it Joel Peralta?
Not Joel Peralta. The correct answer was Jake McGee. Jake McGee was coming off a season where he had a 1.69 ERA. He was never had a save in 2012. He was either a 7th or an 8th inning guy, and Madden turned to him in the 7th, and he blew it. So,
like a lot of relievers, though, also career just kind of like was like great and then just disappeared.
Like a lot of relievers, for sure. Elijah, back to you. The 2023 Tampa Bay Rays got off to an historic start, winning 13 straight to open the season, tying a modern era record. It started on March 30th when the Rays beat the Detroit Tigers 4-0. Name the player that got the Rays on the board in the bottom of the 3rd inning with a solo home run against Tigers lefty Eduardo Rodriguez. 2023, March 30th, hit the first home run of the season for the Rays against lefty Eduardo Rodriguez.
Was this Yandy?
This is not Yandy. Okay. Darby, back to you.
Wow, I actually thought that was who it was. Okay.
And this was not a leadoff shot. This was in the 3rd.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And otherwise,
was it Wander?
Wander did homer in that game, but that is not correct. Okay. He did homer later in that game.
I wasn't sure if you were going to put in a trivia answer with.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
In Wander,
no.
Wander did have a good game that day, but it was Jose Siri who hit the first homer. There wasn't I wanted to get something from 2023, but opening day wasn't super memorable. It was the rest of that run where you had some crazy finishes. Elijah, your 5th question. On March 29th, 2018, the Rays came from behind to beat the Red Sox on opening day. Many fans remember, of course, Denard Span's 3-run triple in the 8th inning to give the Rays the lead. But I'd like you to name the pitcher who pitched 2 shutout innings in relief before giving the ball to Alex Colomé, who got the save. And this pitcher ended up earning the win that day for those 2 shutout innings to keep the Rays in the ballgame.
I just talked to Denard today, too.
If you get this is an incredible poll.
This was 18?
Yeah, 2018. This pitcher pitched the 7th in the 8th inning, kept the Red Sox off the board in those innings, which then led to the incredible 6-run spot in the bottom of the 8th before Alex Colomé got the save.
It's got to be somebody obscure. Was it like Chi Wei Hu or something?
It was not.
Okay.
I guess that's
Darby, do you have anything here? He let me give you the final line. His season stats.
Was that Romo?
It was not Romo.
Was it Darbs?
It was Austin Pruitt.
Pruitt.
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
There would have been too much time.
Opening day usage.
Let him keep guessing. Yeah, big. And at that point, the game was kind of out of hand, so it was low leverage before you had the big inning in the 8th. But without Pruitt, you might not have the opportunity to come back in that game. It was ultimately a 90-win season for the 2018 Rays. And a really exciting team that I think kickstarted a new era of Rays baseball. So I wanted to get a 2018 question in there as well. Our final question is Darby's question. The Rays continued their tradition of winning in walk-off fashion on opening day last season when they beat the Rockies 3-2 on a Cameron Meisner walk-off homer. Meisner replaced Jonathan Aranda, who came in to pinch hit in the bottom of the 7th. Whose original spot in the lineup was that Meisner then went out into the field for? So Aranda was the pinch hitter. Basically, the question is, who did Aranda pinch hit for that Meisner then eventually replaced?
Was that DeLuca?
Not DeLuca.
I had a second guess too.
Was it Josh Lowe?
It was not Josh Lowe, who did exit that game.
I was about to say, I was thinking that was my second guess was like Lowe because he got hurt. Because it's like,
is there another player that you think Kevin Cash would take out of the game in a big situation?
Christopher
Morel.
Oh,
yeah.
I was about
to say Christopher Morel in left field.
Everybody in that outfield. It was like it was anybody in that outfield. Morel.
Another note from that game that I thought was interesting when I was looking at all the box scores from every Rays opening day. The pitchers in that game were for the Rays were Ryan Pepio, Hunter Biggie, Mason Montgomery, and Pete Fairbanks, and none of them are on the opening day roster for 2026. Obviously, Pepio and Biggie's still with the organization, just on the injured list, or Biggie's going to be in AAA. Pepio on the injured list, and then Montgomery and Fairbanks no longer with the organization. So that was just a note. So Elijah takes home our first trivia title of the 2026 season, 5-0. Darby, I'm sorry for throwing a goose egg at you.
Those are some good questions.
I was feeling my fastball today. I was also like shoehorning when I came up with this idea, I was like, there's going to be so many cool opening day questions. Some of those were like hard to come up with. I was like trying to come up with something that was a little obscure, but also tied into bigger moments. As we go through the year and we keep doing this, I feel like I can come up with some better questions. I can hone in my trivia hosting skills.
Your opening day. I like it.
But listen, this one I've been thinking about all day. I've been really excited about this. And again, this part is going to be, and I don't know if you guys have picked up on what we're doing yet. Do you guys have any idea? Okay. So this one's going to be better for our YouTube watchers, but we're going to make it podcast friendly. We are going to try to complete the Sporkle Rays opening day lineups quiz. Let me see if I zoom in here. Can I get rid of?
I'm gonna roll up the sleeves now. I'm gonna roll out the sleeves.
Sporkle.
Okay.
So
we've got it locked in here. We're gonna try to do that. We've got 13 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
But we're gonna do this one at a time. So basically, I'll type everything in, but we'll start with Elijah, then Darby, then myself. We'll each throw a player's name out that I'll type in, and we'll try to fill in all 279 slots. If people don't know what Sporkle is, I'm trying to just fill in the names. Yeah. We've got every Rays opening day lineup from 1998 to 2025. And if, for example, if one of us were to say Evan Longoria, potentially, hypothetically, it would fill in every opening day lineup that he was a part of and knock out that many numbers out of 279. So I think we can do this, but it's going to go one at a time. Elijah will throw out a name, then Darby, then me. But this is teamwork right here.
So this is sick. I like when John Boy Media does this. Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Give me Fred McGriff. That's my favorite player of all time.
It gives us 4. Darby.
Mike Zunino.
I'm going to go ahead and there's 4 more. I'm going to take Longoria. That gets us to 17.
Did Tanyan Sturts make an opening day start?
He did.
Nice.
Wow. Getting the tough ones out there.
James Shields.
James Shields up to 22. There we go. I will go with BJ Upton.
Carl Crawford.
CC. Oh, there's a big one.
Brad Miller.
Brad Miller takes out 2. I'm going to take Ben Zobrist.
John Flaherty.
John Flaherty, catcher in the early years.
Jose Molina.
Jose Molina gives it 3. I'm going to do Yandy Diaz.
Give me shortstop 5. I'll get him out the way. Let's get him out
We're
the
going
way.
to take Wander Franco.
Yeah.
Brandon Lau.
Brandon Lau. I'm going to go with Julio Lugo.
Other criminal.
We'll try to scroll through.
Toby Hall.
Toby Hall. I love that one.
Derek Norris. He has 1.
Derek Norris. So does, I believe, Rob Refsnyder.
Yes.
Opening day DH. Yeah.
DH cleanup.
Hank Conger. Let's stick with
Hank Conger.
Yeah,
there we go.
there's
He
a
was
one.
Starting catcher as well.
Logan Morrison.
There's Lomo. And I am going to go with, oh my gosh, Randy Rosarena.
Ooh. Oh. David Price.
David Price. Scott. Oh, sorry. It's not my turn. Darby, go ahead.
Randy Wynn. Different Randy.
Wynn.
Different Randy.
How do you spell Wynn? Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Scott Kazmir.
We'll go with another first baseman. Aubrey Huff.
Let's name all the great guys.
Replacing Logan Morrison, CJ Crone.
CJ Crone. I'm going to go with another random first baseman, Ty Wigginton.
Yeah, nice.
Give me. Does Willie Ibar have one?
I feel like he does. He definitely did when he popped up somewhere. 2008.
There he is, 2008. Jorge Cantu.
Right, Cantu. Yeah, look at that. You can then give me Rocco Baldelli.
That's a big one. Let's go. I know Wade Boggs is there.
Wade Boggs.
Elijah Dukes.
Elijah Dukes started center fielder in 2007. Then I'll go with Cliff Floyd.
Does Joe Kennedy have an opening day start?
He does.
Yes.
2003.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with okay, let's go more recent. Let's go Jonathan Aranda. No,
Jonathan Aranda does not, because he came off the bench. We just talked about it.
He came off the bench. Yeah.
All right, do you have another one, or do you want me to go?
Yeah. Johnny DeLuca.
Johnny DeLuca. I'm gonna go with Gian Navarro.
Yeah,
we're at 110 with
just
over 9
Kelly
minutes.
Shopick have one?
Kelly Shopick does not.
Give me. Does Bobby Smith have one?
There was a Smith. It might have been Malik's, but Smith worked.
Oh, Malik's. Yeah,
it was Malik's.
Malik's.
Kevin Stalker.
Kevin Stalker is on there. What about Tino Martinez? Oh, I typed in Albert Martin, but I'm going to go ahead and take Martinez.
Oh, it's Dave Martinez too.
Nice. Yeah, oh yeah.
Jose Canseco.
Who'd you say? Oh, Jose Canseco. There he is. Yeah. We're at 125.
I was trying to.
We've only got 3 of last year's. I know we're trying to hit some of the older players.
We have some time. Christopher Morel. Let's just
Christopher Morel. There we go. I'm gonna go with Isaac Paredes.
Nice.
Corey Dickerson.
Now the first base coach.
Steven Souza
Jr. There he is. 3-time opening day starter. We're at 133. And then, it's back to me. And I'm going to go with Quentin McCracken.
There we go. Dwan Brazelton. I know he made one. I think 05.
Brazelton is on there.
Scott Kazmir. Sure.
I went with Kazmir already.
Oh, you already got Kazmir. Alvarez. Wilson Alvarez. I'm going to go with Victor Zambrano.
Alex Cobb,
not an opening day starter.
Oh, he had TJ.
Yeah. Another one from that era, though, that we haven't gotten yet.
Did we do Morel?
We did Morel. There was another starter mid to late 2000s. Threw a bunch.
Bartlett?
Jason Bartlett. There we go.
2018. Danny's favorite, Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy. I am going to go with Ryan Pepio.
Show me Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez was an opening day starter. And Harold Ramirez. We get counted for him, too.
Tyler Glasnow.
Tyler Glasnow, who made one opening day start. I will go with Chris Archer.
He's going to kill me if I don't say it. Blake Snell.
Blake Snell.
I was leaving Snell for you.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it. 2003, 2004 starters. Would that have been Shane McClanahan? Let's get Sugar Shane back up there.
Yep. 2-time starter. I will go with someone we haven't said yet, which is Desmond Jennings. 5 times.
5 times.
Danny Jansen.
Danny Jansen, last year's opening day catcher.
Wilson Ramos.
Buffalo. Wilson Ramos.
Buffalo.
I'm going to go with Renee Pinto, keeping it with catchers.
Wow.
Probably some bigger names we need to mock up. I've done a couple one-timers.
Mm-hmm.
Some franchise greats that we
give me
have yet
Aki.
to say. Iwamura.
Yeah.
There we go. It has a statue.
That 2000 and 2001 pitchers kind of drove me nuts.
They weren't good.
Center field. Did Gerald surely?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had the leadoff home run.
Yeah.
2000 and 2001. I will go with Reed Brignac. Yeah. 2011.
Coach
We're 110 away with just over 5 minutes. We do have to kind of hurry. It's gone fast.
Does Luke Scott have one?
Luke Scott, no.
Oh. Matt Joyce.
Matt Joyce.
No.
There we go.
Yeah, Matt Joyce. Now I'm trying to remember names. Okay. God, I'm picturing him. I'll
I go Denard Span. I went with Denard Span.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to. If you've got him now, we're gonna shout him out.
Matt Joyce.
Yeah.
We just got Matt Joyce.
Oh, we got Matt Joyce. Okay.
If it wasn't Pepia, would it have been Drew Rasmussen one year?
Rasmussen
Who started in 2024. I know
Eflin.
Charlie Morton.
Eflin.
Zach Eflin.
Eflin.
Oh my God, we don't have Cammy.
Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
Yunel Escobar, right?
Yunel Escobar.
Asdrubal Cabrera.
Yoshi Tsutsugo.
Yeah, there's a good one. 2. Keppinger. Jeff Keppinger.
Mike DeFelice.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Ooh.
D.I.
No.
No.
I don't think he did it.
Miguel Cairo. There we go.
Tomas Perez.
Tomas. There was definitely no. I thought him or Eduardo. There was no Perez. 2015 DH. Do we have any idea? We get Brad Miller. What about Carlos Gomez? There we go.
Yeah. Carlos Gomez. There you go. How about knockout 8 of them? Kevin Kiermaier.
There we go.
Echeverria.
I think he's like the most. Adaney.
Echeverria. Shocked I saw that.
Oh my God, G-Man.
G-Man Choi.
Manuel Margot.
We're at 2:02, just over 3 minutes to go. We're missing some outfielders from the 2010s. Carlos Pena. Oh my gosh, guys.
Carlos Pena. Oh my God, he's like one of the most. Johnny Gomes.
What about, was it Rollins? Who would have played right field in 07? Elijah. That's our sweet spot.
Delman Young.
Delman.
Greg Vaughn.
2000s. Vaughn. We're at 2:11, 2.5 to go. We're missing some outfielders from the late 90s. Would have been
Dave Martinez.
We got all the Martinezes.
Travis Lee. Yep.
There
Steve
we go.
Cox.
Steve Cox. Yep.
Steve Cox.
Oh, wait.
Jason
Right
Tyner?
fielder would have been Hinsky. Well, who'd you say,
Hinsky.
Elijah?
Tyner.
No.
Jason
Tyner.
Oh, there it is.
Brett
Sorry.
Abernathy.
Abernathy.
I'm thinking of.
Shoot. He went to the A's, or went to the A's.
Oh, Sam Fold.
Oh, Casey Kochman.
Casey Kochman.
Do we have a Damon Hollins?
I thought it was Rollins for some reason.
Do we have a Joey Gathright?
Joey Gathright. What a pull.
That's a good one.
Under 2 minutes. We're at 2:23. 2012.
Right?
Who? You know?
We got Yunel Escobar, right?
Yep.
Who in the world? These
Gabe Gross.
Yeah, he's got one.
Gabe Gross. Did Kapler the next year?
Pat Burrell.
Pat Burrell.
2010 second base.
DH leadoff 2015.
Johnny Damon.
2015.
Oh, Manny Ramirez. Manny
Ramirez. Who was the leadoff playing first base last year? Oh, it would have been Curtis Mead.
Curtis Mead.
Yeah.
That's right.
2024 center field.
Oh, right field, Josh Lowe. We got it. That's a
couple. Shortstop last year would have been Taylor Walls. Shortstop the year before. We got Franco. Who else played shortstop?
Year before. What the hell?
Would it not have been Taylor
Who was
Walls?
the shortstop last year?
DH leading off 2015. We got Ref Snyder first base. CJ Crone. Lucas Duda. No, he was mid-season. We're less than a minute. We're at 2:31.
We got all the pitchers except for two.
Crawford, Upton, outfielders are missing. First base in 2013.
Carlos
Gomez. Oh, did Avisel Garcia? No.
Garcia.
No, he was not there.
Oh, Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham.
Is there a Johnson in there somewhere?
Yeah, Johnson. Elliott and Kelly.
Second base 2016 leading off. Less than 10 seconds. Anyone at the buzzer?
Choi. Maybe you already had Choi.
Yeah, got them. All right. 2:35. Let's go through the ones we missed.
Sean Rodriguez.
Rolls.
Out.
Wow. Vinny Castilla.
Ben Grieve. I completely forgot Ben Grieve.
Okay, Damon Hollins and Damian Rolls. Their names were getting mixed up in my brain.
Combined them. We got both of those, but we couldn't get them. Steve Traxel. I forgot.
John
Jaso. Sean Rod.
Three straight years, James Loney.
That's the one I got. Because I saw those first basemen and I was like, what's happened there? Will Myers.
My gosh, Willie Adames.
Oh my God. Mike Brasso.
I'm happy we forgot about
Jose Caballero, Jose Siri.
I can do without Hunter Renfroe. I'm cool with that.
Wendell.
Oh my
what?
God.
Wendell.
Wow. I'm sorry, guys. Willie Adames. That's probably our biggest drop.
Willie Adames and James Loney. I feel like those.
Austin Meadows was the answer to one of our trivia questions, though. So we should have gotten that one for an opening day leadoff home run.
And then
Herbert Perry.
Ben Grieve, I could not come up with the name. I could picture him like a pale, like a even more wasted away Rocco Baldelli.
Most of these names I have some familiarity with. Herbert Perry.
That one's Paul Sorrento
through the memory.
I feel like Adam's going to be disappointed in us that we didn't get Sorrento.
Yeah.
Mike Kelly.
Listen, we'll do this next year when we've forgotten the ones we've done, and we'll try to get better. And we'll have
Tim Beckham. This
was fun.
Logan Forsythe. Oh, there's some in that like 2000s. This like range right there, like 2013 to 2017 that I remember. It is the forgotten year, right? It's the Korean War of the Rays. It's like I remember all of these players, but I completely forgot them that they existed. But seeing them now,
like some of them were good, but as a team,
Loney,
not so much.
Yeah, they had some big moments. Like Forsythe had 2 pretty good years there. Logan Morrison was great. That was fun.
Well, again, I think probably more enjoyable on YouTube, but I hope we made it nice for our podcast listeners as well. We'll be doing more trivia, probably less Sporkles. Maybe every once in a while we'll mix in a Sporkle. But I hope you enjoyed that. And let us know if you did or didn't.
I feel like we could do Immaculate Grid, like a
We can
team
do some
Immaculate
grids.
Grid.
There's a couple of
That's
those
pretty
other
good.
daily puzzle games that I think we can that are like team specific.
What's the
Daily
name
Walk-Off,
yeah, Daily Walk Off.
where you can do it by team, and there's always a raise
Yeah.
one. But if there's a raise grid when we record, I'm always happy. I love doing the raise grids and pulling the most
Well,
obscure
the thing with
players.
the Immaculate Grid is you could just make the challenge of like raise it, raise
Yeah.
players, because the Rays have so many players that have churned through. They get some low percentages on other grids. So
The tiebreaker, had we gotten to the tiebreaker and the quiz was going to be pitchers that have pitched for both the Rays and Cardinals.
Okay.
I thought about mixing that in as its own trivia segment, but there's like just a lot of players and a lot of pitchers, and it would have taken forever. But that would have been a fun one if we had gotten to the tiebreaker. So that is going to do it for this week's episode of Raise Your Voice, our 2026 season preview. Thank you to Elijah Flewellen for hopping on and joining us. And thank you, of course, to my co-host, Darby Robinson. We have been live on youtube.com/@raiseyourvoice. And of course, still available wherever you get your podcasts. If you've been watching on YouTube and you haven't already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on those notifications so you can join us whenever we go live. If you really like what we do and you want to support, you can head on over to patreon.com/raiseyourvoice or click the link on the screen and become a Raise Your Voice Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. As always, make sure to head on over to draysbay.com to check out all of the great Rays coverage. Once again, thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you next